There, welcome back to my Data and Product Summer School. Today we're going to discuss what are the main things about the Agile product management. So we will cover the definition of product management, the different mindset, traditional versus agile mindset, the manifesto itself, different frameworks, as well as what are the roles on the agile product team, user stories, product backlogs, sprints, continuous discoveries, metrics, and at the end, of course, about the key takeaways and the common pitfalls to avoid. So let's go and see what the product management is. Product management is a discipline and it decides what to build, why, for whom, and it comes actually from them to support the cross-functional team and how to deliver products. So it starts from users and answering the right questions about the users, like what they need, and at the end delivering the right product. The business, in terms of meeting their measurable outcomes, and technology, what are the tech stack you're using. So the great PM would be standing at the junction of all those three main concepts. So there are two methodologies that we've been dealing until now. It's waterfall versus agile. So from your practice and knowledge, you know that waterfall is about planning everything upfront, and it's like a more fixed methodology because it doesn't allow you to make changes during the product development. So the customer sees the product as a result only at the end. Versus agile is being very flexible. It takes you like short and little plans, but you learn a lot within the process. And it's also about being more flexible and having customer observe the development at every sprint. So change is something natural and it should be expected like every sprint, and maybe like every week or bi-weekly you would be introducing increment changes or updates to your to your customer and to your clients. So the Agile Manifesto, it's a philosophy, right? And that occurred actually in 2001, like long back ago. So what's the main philosophy behind? So it's about more interaction, where the individuals are able to interact more rather than just being like very hard tech and focus on processes and tools. It's about delivering the right exactly working software, then just having this reporting and documentation. And of course, it's about the collaboration because collaboration is what makes everything unique and the win situation at the end rather than contract negotiation. And the last one, of course, it's responding to the change. So the change would be done like at the increments at every point. So you need to make sure that it don't matter that you're having even though you have the plan, but you are still able to change it and bring in your own changes in through the process. So, what are the main principles that matter the most? So we know that agile is specific mindset, right? So it's not just the checkpoints; it's a mindset that every PM needs to possess, and it's also how the culture is being organized around this philosophy and that mindset. We know that the delivery value should be something early and very continuous. We're able to make the changes when it's required. Even if it's late, we're still having that flexibility to make. So business and developers, they work hand in hand together. So there is nothing that they should work separately. It comes like again about the collaboration. So gain great motivation around different individuals. And it's how the working software would be the primary measure of progress. It's about again reflection, tuning, and adjusting at the regular intervals. So there are four main agile frameworks. It's Scrum, Kanban, Lean, and Safless. So Scrum would be about having the sprints ready, like from 1 to like 4 weeks, right? So within a month, you may have like this different sprints, like maybe monthly, maybe bi-monthly or weekly. and it has its own scopes that's being devolved, yeah, for the best scope development. Kanban is being used for the continuous flow, and it's a work in process based limits. And it's again, if you're having the continuous work and support. The lean is about the minimizing the waste but maximizing the learning, and it's about this, this three conceptual chain. It goes for building, measuring, and learning loop. And of course, the last one is SAF. It's when you have this again the philosophy of scaling the agile across the team in large organizations. You're already having the ability to be the lead, and how you're delegating your task with the teams, agile teams in the larger corporations. So, what are the main roles of the agile product team? So there are in the agile product team, you're going to have, of course, the product owner and PM, the Scrum Master or Scrum Coach, development teams, and the last, of course, would be the stakeholders and users for whom you're developing, and all the parties that are interested in the development of the product. So, in order to have the backlog and user stories, so it comes from the requirements, right? Having the precise requirements. But it's also, we need to understand that product backlog, it's something like about prioritization. It's a list that of everything that could be possibly to build, to create, and it's always in evolution. It's always in the process of involvement. It never finishes up. So the sprint cycle, we know that it's a flow, right? It's cycle. It has its specific stage of planning. Then you need to have the ability to have this daily stand-ups, like very brief, like maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, and you're just sharing your updates with your team. Then it's again the building and designing of the products. It's the ability to review the product, and then the last one would be the retrospection, right? The retro, when you're getting back and seeing the product, and seeing if it's aligning with the requirements and what could be updated. So delivery actually takes for the sprint cycle, as we already discussed, from 1 to 4 weeks. So it's a must every month to make to adjust the sprint, your cycle, and then again be able to ship. So here I've shared you the main ceremonies and artifacts. So what's the sprint planning? It's how you agree on the scope and the goal. It's sharing again, having those ability to have those daily stand-ups. It's synchronically takes like 15 minutes, yeah, from 10 to 15 minutes. It's a review of the sprint so you need to be able to have that working software, and the ability to see if it's working, and the condition. Of course, the retrospective is, it's about how you can improve your software, right? Maybe you have some errors, how to fix it, and during the testing, it says that something you got wrong, and you need to be able to improve your work. And finally, it's about the backlog refinement. It's how you already have your user stories, you're keeping them ready, and once you get the new ones, you get already the reports and documented. And finally, the artifacts, it's the main ones are product backlogs, the sprint backlogs, the increments, the small shippable results that you can ship during the stand-ups and during the sprints. Having the definition of done, when you already have this, bar that matches the quality, and and then when you check if it meets the quality bar, yeah, specific metrics. And finally, the having the charts, the graphical representation of your product development, and the stages, that what stage you're already keeping up with the development with your deadlines, or you're still falling behind. So we know that in the product development, the main thing is having the roadmap. Yes, so agile roadmap, it needs to demonstrate the outcomes, not promises. So you need to be able to explore. You explore, but not they explore the product, but not the features that they will be shipped. So it makes you really, really uh, how to say, the necessary that you have this improving onboarding, you're reducing the sign up time. Of course, you're adjusting your collaboration, the mobile experience, and for later you're having the marketplace and AI assistant that enables you to have those features delivered correctly. So the next would be mentioning about the continuous delivery and the metrics. So the metrics would be about how you can get the user succeed, right? It's about having the activation, retention, the customer related metrics, customer success metrics, NPS, CST, cycle time idea, and of course the last one would be about having the velocity. So the activation is about the number of users that being reached the first value, the retention of the users, they're coming back. The next NPS and CST is how the customer success management, right? It goes CSM to see how they're getting, how satisfied about the product, about the metrics, specific driving the specific metrics. And cycle time idea, it's about shipment in and it's measured in days, and the velocity is how the sustainable your work would be per sprint. And finally, the pitfalls that we have to avoid, and this is very, very important part. It's where we know that we need to get that specific mindset right. Without having the agile mindset, we're not going to be succeeded. And we need to more focus on the shipping output, and so that would be, and ignoring outcomes would be just so that's a rogue one, right? That we need to more focus on the outcomes. So we need to build having the specific plan and adjusting ourselves to the specific plan, having the real users. We need to have the real users that test our product and tell where we need to improve, and having in mind that ideas would be coming like throughout the process. So we need to keep the moment of iteration very, very, how to say, very planned and organized, not to emit any disquality. And finally, we need to improve our teamwork and collaboration, because without the teamwork and collaboration, we never succeed. And it's not only on the role of the PM, but also in other roles. That's so much, we understand that it's not only about the negotiation, but also on the collaboration side. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your attention. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be happy to share my new updates and coming up with new tutorials, maybe short reels. But yeah, I'm making sure that all the information are being like very accurately delivered, and you will be seeing in my slides and in my video tutorials. Have a wonderful bye bye.